Hi, I'm Dr. Amy French of the Delta College History Department. Today, I want to talk to you about some of the research you'll be doing for the Civic Engagement Project and some of the databases that I recommend you to go to when looking at the project. Now, right now, I am on the Delta College Library website. To get here, I went to Inside Delta and I clicked on the library link. And this is the landing page, the home page. And what I would suggest is you go here to databases. And so we'll click on databases. And there are three databases that I highly recommend. The first and probably the broadest and the best to start with for any of the events that you're looking to research would be Jstor. So we'll go here to J and we will click on J and then we'll scroll down to the bottom. Now Jstor is a quite expensive database that Delta makes available to students. So you're going to have to log in because this is something that I've already logged in, so we don't have to log in, but you will have to use your username and password, your Delta username and password, because it is a paid database that Delta makes available to its students. And when using Jstor, I recommend starting out always with an advanced search. And that's because Jstor is it's what it is it's a compilation of many historical journals, and so you could get them published and in print, but of course that would take up loads of space at any library, and Delta's library doesn't have room for it, and many libraries don't. So what they do is we get access to a database like this where they've been digitized. And so somebody has scanned in the printed copy and made it available in a PDF form so that you can get all those wonderful articles just available to you. And it makes your research really easy. And it's wonderful for online students or for students who can't make it to who want to research from home, which is, I mean, this is where I like to do the majority of my research. And so what I suggest you do is you would type in your keywords. And so let's just, we'll do the 1937 Flint strikes. And that's the one we'll just keep with that. That'll be our keyword phrase that we'll use. And then I would suggest that you click on articles. You see how I moved down here to item type, because Jstor will also pull up reviews. So those would be reviews of books that have been published about the subject. It'll also pull up any books that might be on there, research reports. And then you also might want to consolidate your publication dates. And that's because Jstor goes back and it'll digitize things from all the way over 100 years ago. And so it could definitely pull up something from 1937. We won't restrict it for right now. We'll let it go for right now. And so I'm just going to submit advanced search. And we always have to let the cookies, right? And then we can start seeing what comes up. And right now we get an interesting strike where they're comparing the occupation of factories in Paris in 1936 to Flint in 1937. Some songs from the General Motors strike of 1936 to 1937, and some things that probably don't apply. For instance, somebody written something about strikes written by a man named John Flint, so not important. But this is, Howard Zinn is a noted author of history, and he's writing about Flint. And so we can look at these. And any of them that you would want to get, you would just download. So why don't we go ahead and we'll download Zinn's article, and we just accept the conditions and terms. And then it would bring it up for us. And unfortunately, let's see. And I have to allow the pop-ups. There we go. And there we go. And so here's all we can see that this originally came from Race, Poverty, and the Environment in spring of 2007. So this would have been the journal. This would have been the printed copy that originally came from was Race, Poverty, and the Environment was the journal. And it originally came from the edition that was published in spring of 2007. It was the volume, the 14th volume, the first number of that one. And it was, the pages were 35 through 38. And then we have the article right here. And you can read it and use it. And so that's one of the databases I recommend. There's 3 databases. And so we'll go back to our databases here. And I recommend the next one I recommend you go to, both of them actually are under M. And so one is Michigan Historical Review. Michigan Historical Review is more academic, and it is, in fact, I sit on the board of editors for this publication, or currently I do. And so when we want to search within this journal, now Jstor will actually search for within the Michigan Historical Review, but it has a limited amount of time. So this is just, it adds on to it. It allows you to have a little bit more access. So we can type in again, we'll type in set 1937 Flint strikes and see what else we can get here. And so we have a nice, one good article here, Midnight in Vehicle City, General Motors, Flint, and the Strike That Created the Middle Class by Edward McClellan. And so, and this is a review. So it's a review of a book, and we can download that. And then we could also look at Michigan History Magazine. Michigan History Magazine is a little bit more of a lay magazine, tends to allow for informal scholars, people that maybe aren't associated with a university or college. And so it has a lot of interesting, generally shorter articles in them. So we'll try again, 1937 Flint strike. We'll just put Flint strike. And let's see what we get. And here we have, looks like 3. And so we get Sitting Down to Take a Stand by Michael Van Dyke. Some books to read on the subject, and an article called Flint by Sally Yeager. But this does not look like it's about the Flint strike. So maybe it is, but we'd have to kind of click on it and learn more. But it's this might be more about Flint history, and that's kind of what it looks like. It might be about Flint history, but we'd have to read a little bit more into that. But those are the databases that I recommend highly for you to look at as you're doing your research. I think those are the 3 top ones that these are what, as a historian myself, of course, I do a lot of research still primarily. And when I do my research, these are where I go to Jstor right off of that. Jstor is where I know I'm going to get quality historical research. And so Jstor has the biggest access. So I highly recommend going to Jstor. I hope you found this tutorial informative and educational, and I hope it's of assistance to you. Have a great day.